Have you ever found yourself struggling to balance your own needs with the demands of the world around you? Have you ever wondered about the true meaning of self-love and healthy selfishness? If so, then you're in the right place. In this video, we'll embark on a journey through the realms of philosophy and psychology to explore the intricacies of self-love and healthy selfishness. By delving into the wisdom of thinkers like Ayn Rand, Epictetus, Jean-Paul Sartre, and the Buddha, we'll uncover valuable insights and practical lessons to help you cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself and your relationships. Join us on this enlightening exploration and discover how embracing self-love and healthy selfishness can lead to greater fulfillment, authenticity, and joy in your life. Stick around until the end to gain actionable tips and strategies for applying these insights to your daily life. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you liked the video. You can help me continue spreading the Stoic philosophy. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. As we embark on the journey of exploring those lessons, kindly comment below with the corresponding lesson number if you find these teachings helpful. Now let's begin. The world around us constantly sends us mixed signals about self-love and selfishness. On the one hand, we're encouraged to be selfless and considerate, to put others before ourselves. On the other hand, we're told that it's okay to love ourselves, that we should prioritize our own needs. These conflicting messages can leave us feeling confused and guilty, unsure about how to strike the right balance, and that's where the importance of today's topic comes into play, both in our personal and professional lives. By developing a better understanding of self-love and selfishness, we can lead healthier, more balanced lives. We can learn to set boundaries, to make time for ourselves, and to appreciate who we are with all our strengths and weaknesses. And we can do this without feeling guilty or being perceived as selfish. Personally, I used to struggle with these very concepts. There were times when I would deprive myself of rest, fun, and even health just to avoid being seen as selfish. I would bend over backwards to accommodate others, often at the expense of my own well-being. It wasn't until I started studying philosophy and psychology that I began to realize the value of self-love and the necessity of a certain type of selfishness. These insights didn't just transform my personal life, they also had a profound impact on my professional life, leading to greater satisfaction and success. So, whether you're here out of curiosity, in search of personal growth, or to gain insights that can boost your professional success, I believe this series has something valuable to offer you. Together, we'll challenge popular misconceptions, explore new perspectives, and embark on a journey towards a better understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. When we talk about self-love, we're not simply talking about pampering yourself with a spa day or treating yourself to a fancy meal, though these acts can certainly be part of it. Rather, self-love is a much deeper and more profound concept. It's about accepting ourselves in our entirety, with all our virtues, flaws, and everything in between. It's about acknowledging our intrinsic worth and treating ourselves with kindness and respect. Self-love is not about perfection, it's about acceptance. It's about understanding that we are works in progress and that it's okay to make mistakes. It's about giving ourselves the same compassion, understanding, and patience that we often extend to others. Self-love is not vanity or arrogance. It's about recognizing our humanity, our unique blend of strengths and weaknesses, and valuing ourselves for who we are. Self-love also involves taking care of our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. It's about making time for self-care, setting boundaries, pursuing our interests, and prioritizing our needs. It's about nourishing our bodies, stimulating our minds, and nurturing our souls. So, how does this connect with selfishness? This brings us to our next term. The term selfishness often carries negative connotations. It's typically used to describe someone who puts their interests above those of others, often to the point of causing harm or neglecting the needs of others. However, as with many concepts, there's more than one side to this story. In the context of our discussion, when we refer to selfishness, we're not talking about this harmful, neglectful behavior. Instead, we're referring to a healthier, more constructive form of selfishness, one that involves asserting our needs and making decisions that benefit our well-being, even if they may not always align with the expectations of others. This is the kind of selfishness that allows us to say no when we're overburdened, to pursue our passions even if they don't align with societal norms, and to prioritize self-care even when it may seem indulgent. It's the kind of selfishness that respects the needs of others, but acknowledges that we too have needs that are equally important. The relationship between self-love and selfishness might seem a bit complicated, but the two are closely intertwined. You see, in order to truly love ourselves, we must be somewhat selfish. We must be willing to prioritize our needs, to set boundaries, and to make choices that foster our well-being and happiness. And to be constructively selfish, we must first recognize our inherent worth, which in turn requires self-love. In essence, self-love and a healthy level of selfishness go hand in hand. They are two sides of the same coin, both crucial for our personal growth and well-being. This dynamic interplay between self-love and selfishness is what allows us to navigate life with resilience, confidence, and inner peace. But how did such concepts emerge? How have they evolved over time? And how do they fit into the grand tapestry of philosophical and psychological thought? As we journey through this video, we'll delve into these questions and more, exploring the fascinating perspectives of various philosophers and psychologists and uncovering the profound insights they offer. Remember, the goal here is not to encourage selfishness in the negative sense, disregarding others and causing harm. Instead, we hope to illuminate the path to a balanced, healthy sense of self, where you can assert your needs, value your worth, and still respect and care for those around you. We have now begun to delve into the depths of self-love and healthy selfishness, two concepts that are not only intricately connected, but also play pivotal roles in our mental health, personal growth, and overall well-being. Understanding why self-love is crucial to mental health takes us into the realm of neuroscience, psychology, and human behavior. For decades, psychologists and researchers have pointed out the direct link between the way we perceive ourselves and the state of our mental health. Let's visualize our minds as gardens. Now, a garden filled with love, positivity, and care is likely to flourish, right? Similarly, when our minds are imbued with self-love, they too can flourish. Self-love acts like a natural defense mechanism against the thorns of self-doubt, self-criticism, and negative self-talk, elements that can poison our mental garden, leading to anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. When we practice self-love, we validate our own emotions and experiences. We tell ourselves that it's okay to feel the way we do, that our feelings are important. This validation can prevent emotional repression, a factor often linked with psychological distress. Self-love also equips us with the confidence to face life's challenges head-on. Instead of crumbling under pressure or succumbing to stress, we can stand tall, secure in the knowledge that we are capable and deserving of overcoming these hurdles. This resilience is fundamental for maintaining mental health and coping with life's ups and downs. But how does healthy selfishness fit into this picture? Well, if self-love is the soil in which our mental garden thrives, then healthy selfishness is the act of tending to that garden, ensuring it gets the nourishment it needs. Healthy selfishness is about acknowledging our needs and taking steps to meet them. It's about carving out time for ourselves amidst our busy schedules, prioritizing our well-being, and not being afraid to set boundaries. This act of placing importance on our needs encourages personal growth by allowing us to understand ourselves better, hone our skills, and pursue our interests. Moreover, it's through healthy selfishness that we learn the value of saying no, overcommitting, people-pleasing, and overextending ourselves. These are traps that many of us fall into, often at the cost of our own mental and emotional well-being. learning to say no to things that drain us is an act of healthy selfishness, a crucial step in personal growth. When we combine self-love and healthy selfishness, they form a potent synergy that paves the way for a balanced, content and fulfilling life. They allow us to maintain mental harmony, grow as individuals, and navigate life's journey with self-assuredness and resilience. By loving ourselves, we lay the foundation for a life filled with purpose, passion and fulfillment, the foundation of our mental garden, making it fertile ground for positive thoughts, self-esteem and resilience. With healthy selfishness, we nurture this garden, ensuring it gets the care, attention and nourishment it needs to flourish. Together, these concepts guide us towards a life where we can stand tall, not swayed by the winds of external validation or approval, but firmly rooted in self-love and self-appreciation. They lead us to a place where we can strike a balance, honoring our own needs while respecting those of others. As we journey on, we'll continue to unearth the wisdom embedded in these concepts. Guided by the profound insights of philosophers and psychologists who have illuminated the path to self-love and healthy selfishness in their teachings, we will discover not just theoretical knowledge, but practical, applicable wisdom that can transform our lives. So let's step forward on this path, curious, open, and ready to learn. Our first stop, the influential psychologist Carl Rogers. Known as one of the founding figures of humanistic psychology, Rogers' theories have left an indelible mark on the field. Let's delve into his world and uncover his perspective on self-love. Carl Rogers, born in 1902, was a pioneer in his field. His focus on individual human experience and self-actualization was transformative and challenged the dominant psychoanalytic and behaviorist perspectives of his time. Rogers' approach was person-centered, emphasizing the innate goodness and potential for growth in every individual. His work, rich in compassion and empathy, has left a lasting legacy in psychology, counseling, and psychotherapy. Rogers believed that for a person to achieve a state of self-actualization, the highest level of psychological development, where one realizes their full potential, they need to experience unconditional positive regard. This term, coined by Rogers himself, refers to the total acceptance and love of oneself regardless of behavior or circumstances. It is the very embodiment of self-love. In Rogers' humanistic psychology, the key element here is unconditional. Rogers stressed that self-love should not hinge on conditions of worth. It should not depend on achievements, approval from others, or conforming to societal norms. Instead, he advocated for self-love that exists independently of these external factors, grounded in the understanding and acceptance of one's unique intrinsic value. According to Rogers, self-love is not an act of vanity or arrogance. It's not about believing that you're being better than others. Rather, it's about acknowledging your self-worth, being open to your own experiences, and trusting in your perceptions and feelings. Rogers believed that this unconditional self-love is fundamental for personal growth and self-actualization. When we love ourselves unconditionally, we create a safe space for exploration and self-understanding. We allow ourselves to make mistakes and learn from them, fostering personal growth. We also cultivate an internal locus of evaluation wherein we trust our judgments and don't rely solely on the opinions of others for validation. From Rogers' perspective, self-love also involves embracing our potential for change and growth. It's about recognizing that we are not static beings, but rather we are continually evolving. Self-love in this sense means not only accepting who we are in the present moment, but also embracing who we can become. Moreover, Rogers' therapeutic approach was rooted in the belief that a therapist's role was to provide an environment of unconditional positive regard, empathy, and genuineness to foster self-love and growth in their clients. He proposed that when individuals are exposed to such an environment, they naturally move toward greater self-understanding, self-acceptance, and self-actualization. This illustrates Rogers' belief in the transformative power of self-love. Rogers' perspective on self-love not only revolutionized therapeutic practices, but also deeply resonates with our discussion. His ideas offer a fresh perspective, inviting us to embrace unconditional self-love and see it as a gateway to personal growth and self-actualization. Now we shift our lens to the work of another influential psychologist, Abraham Maslow, a pioneer of humanistic psychology like Carl Rogers. Maslow's theories of self-actualization and the hierarchy of needs offer a compelling perspective on our discussion. Born in 1908, Abraham Maslow was a prominent American psychologist who left a significant impact on the field with his humanistic approach. This approach, often referred to as the third force in psychology, emphasizes the inherent goodness of people and the importance of healthy psychological development. Maslow is perhaps best known for his theory of the hierarchy of needs, a model that continues to inform various fields from psychology and education to business and marketing. At the heart of Maslow's work is the concept of self-actualization, which he placed at the pinnacle of his hierarchy of needs. Maslow described self-actualization as the ongoing process of realizing and fulfilling one's potential. This concept is closely related to our discussion of self-love and healthy selfishness, as it encapsulates the idea of personal growth and self-improvement. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a pyramid, with physiological needs such as food and water at the base and self-actualization at the top. According to Maslow, one must satisfy lower-level needs before one can pursue higher-level ones. Thus, before one can seek self-actualization, one must first fulfill their needs for safety, love, and belonging and esteem. This theory provides a fascinating lens through which we can view self-love and selfishness. Self-love, in the context of Maslow's hierarchy, can be seen as an essential element in satisfying these various needs. By practicing self-love, we acknowledge and attend to our needs from the physiological to the psychological. This act of self-care, which could be construed as a form of healthy selfishness, is a necessary step in the pursuit of self-actualization. Maslow also emphasized the importance of self-esteem in the hierarchy, underscoring the role of self-love and respect in personal growth. He proposed that individuals need to experience self-respect and the respect of others to progress up the hierarchy. Self-love plays a vital role here, as it forms the basis of self-esteem and self-respect. Furthermore, the pursuit of self-actualization itself can be viewed as an act of healthy selfishness. According to Maslow, self-actualization involves the pursuit of personal growth, fulfillment, and peak experiences. It's about becoming the best version of oneself. This pursuit, while arguably a form of selfishness, is positive and healthy, as it promotes personal development and fulfillment. By focusing on personal growth and the satisfaction of one's own needs, Maslow's theory gives a nod to the importance of a certain degree of selfishness in leading a fulfilling life. Yet, it's important to note that for Maslow, self-actualization also involves transcendence, giving to others, and recognizing a connection with the broader human community. Maslow's perspective adds another intriguing layer to our understanding of self-love and healthy selfishness. His work illuminates the path towards self-actualization, emphasizing the role of self-love in fulfilling our needs and the importance of healthy selfishness in our personal growth. Venturing into the realm of ancient wisdom, we now turn our gaze towards one of the most influential philosophers in history, Aristotle. His comprehensive work, covering areas from metaphysics to ethics and politics, has shaped centuries of thought and still holds valuable insights for our discussion on self-love and healthy selfishness. Aristotle, born in 384 BC, who was a student of Plato and later became the tutor of Alexander the Great. He founded the Lyceum, a school in Athens where he conducted courses for over a decade. His work has profoundly influenced Western philosophy, serving as the foundation for many later philosophical theories and practices. Central to Aristotle's ethical philosophy is the concept of eudaimonia, often translated as happiness or flourishing. Aristotle proposed that eudaimonia is the ultimate goal of human life and thought. However, it is not a transient state of happiness or pleasure, but rather an enduring state of being that results from leading a life of virtue and achieving one's full potential. The idea of eudaimonia is intrinsically connected to the concepts of self-love and rational self-interest. Aristotle argued that self-love is not merely acceptable, but necessary for eudaimonia. To him, self-love was not a narcissistic endeavor, but rather it meant wishing for and working towards what is genuinely good for oneself. Aristotle's conception of self-love ties closely to his idea of rational self-interest. He proposed that by nature, we are rational beings who desire to realize our highest potential. Hence, genuine self-love requires the pursuit of virtue and wisdom, essentially becoming the best version of ourselves. It's a form of healthy selfishness where one seeks personal growth and fulfillment not at the expense of others, but as a means to contribute positively to society. To comprehend how Aristotle's teachings apply to real life, let's delve into some practical implications. Suppose you're a musician, for instance. Embracing self-love in the Aristotelian sense would mean dedicating yourself to honing your craft, understanding and expressing your unique artistic voice, and reaching your highest potential. It's about recognizing your passion and potential and using it to contribute to the world in your unique way. Or consider a scenario where you're faced with a choice between pursuing a high-paying job that you don't enjoy or a lower-paying job that aligns with your passions. Following Aristotle's philosophy, the act of self-love would involve choosing the path that genuinely fulfills you and allows you to realize your potential, even if it may seem more challenging or less lucrative. These examples capture the essence of Aristotle's eudaimonia, a life of fulfillment achieved through the pursuit of virtue and personal excellence. In this regard, self-love and a certain degree of selfishness are not only desirable, but also essential. They drive us towards self-improvement and realization of our potential, contributing to our flourishing and, by extension, the betterment of our communities. Aristotle's wisdom illuminates a new dimension in our exploration of self-love and healthy selfishness, reinforcing the notion that these concepts are not contradictory but complementary facets of fulfilling life. His philosophy invites us to reflect on our potential, our passions, and the choices we make, emphasizing the importance of virtuous self-love and rational self-interest in our quest for eudaimonia. Our journey now takes us to a controversial yet highly influential figure in the realm of philosophy and literature, Ayn Rand. Born in 1905 in Russia, Rand emigrated to the Udon states in the 1920s, where she developed her philosophical system known as objectivism, which is encapsulated in her novels like The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. Rand's philosophy espouses a form of ethical egoism that she described as the virtue of selfishness, providing a distinctive perspective on our exploration of self-love and healthy selfishness. Rand's philosophy, objectivism, promotes the pursuit of one's own happiness as the highest moral aim. She advocated for a form of rational selfishness where an individual's own life and happiness are their ultimate values. Objectivism maintains that each individual has a moral obligation to pursue their self-interest, reject altruism, and uphold individual rights. In her book, The Virtue of Selfishness, Rand explains that her concept of selfishness is not a disregard for others, but an unwillingness to sacrifice oneself for others. It's worth noting that Rand's notion of rational selfishness doesn't promote harm or exploitation of others. Instead, it's about living in a way that is true to oneself, that upholds one's values and ambitions, and ultimately leads to personal fulfillment. According to Rand, one's self-interest must be determined by the use of reason, avoiding the trap of instant gratification or short-term benefits at the expense of long-term well-being. To better understand Rand's perspective, let's dissect her view of rational selfishness. The term rational is crucial here. Rand's selfishness isn't about pursuing whims or momentary desires, but rather about actions based on reasoned and long-term self-interest. Rand argues that a truly selfish person would never harm others, lie, or steal, because such actions would not be in their rational self-interest. It erodes trust, ruins relationships, and ultimately disrupts one's life. Furthermore, Rand's concept of selfishness involves a deep sense of self-respect and self-esteem, similar to the way Aristotle discussed self-love. Rand's selfishness is about respecting oneself, honoring one's values, and pursuing personal growth and fulfillment. Rand posits that this kind of rational selfishness is actually a prerequisite for a just society. If each individual is focused on their rational self-interest and respects the equal rights of others to do the same, this would lead to a society where cooperation and mutual respect flourish. According to Rand, a world where everyone practices rational selfishness is a world of independent, fulfilled individuals. From the exploration of various philosophical and psychological perspectives on self-love and healthy selfishness, there are several lessons that can be drawn. 1. Recognize the importance of self-love. In the journey of self-discovery and personal growth, it's essential to recognize the profound importance of self-love. Contrary to common misconceptions, self-love is not synonymous with selfishness or narcissism. Instead, it forms the foundation of our emotional and psychological well-being. Self-love involves acknowledging our inherent self-worth and treating ourselves with kindness, compassion, and respect. To truly embrace self-love, we must first understand that it is not a luxury or an indulgence, but a fundamental necessity for leading a fulfilling and meaningful life. Just as we nurture and care for our loved ones, we must extend the same level of care and compassion towards ourselves. This means acknowledging our strengths and weaknesses, celebrating our achievements, and forgiving ourselves for our mistakes and shortcomings. Moreover, self-love entails setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing our own needs and well-being. It involves saying no to situations or relationships that undermine our self-worth and saying yes to activities and experiences that nourish our soul and bring us joy. By practicing self-love, we cultivate a deep sense of inner peace, contentment, and resilience, which empowers us to navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. 2. Set boundaries. Embracing healthy selfishness involves recognizing the importance of setting boundaries in various aspects of life. Setting boundaries is not about being selfish or self-centered. Rather, it's about prioritizing your own well-being and ensuring that your needs are met, while also maintaining healthy relationships with others. One aspect of setting boundaries is learning to say no when necessary. It's essential to recognize that it's okay to decline invitations or requests that don't align with your values, priorities, or energy levels. By saying no when needed, you preserve your time and energy for activities and relationships that truly matter to you, thereby fostering a greater sense of fulfillment and authenticity in your life. Additionally, setting boundaries involves asserting your interests and preferences in various situations. Whether it's expressing your opinions, advocating for your needs, or standing up for yourself, asserting boundaries allows you to maintain a sense of autonomy and agency in your interactions with others. This doesn't mean disregarding the feelings or needs of others. Rather, it's about finding a balance between asserting your own needs and respecting the boundaries of others. Moreover, setting boundaries encompasses creating space for yourself amidst the demands of daily life. It's essential to carve out time for self-care, reflection, and rejuvenation, even when faced with competing responsibilities. By prioritizing your own well-being and making time for activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, you replenish your physical, emotional, and spiritual reserves, allowing you to show up more fully in your relationships and endeavors. In practicing healthy selfishness through boundary setting, it's crucial to maintain empathy and consideration for others. Setting boundaries is not about shutting people out or prioritizing your needs at the expense of others. Rather, it's about fostering mutual respect and understanding in your interactions. By communicating your boundaries openly and respectfully, you create space for authentic connections and build healthier, more fulfilling relationships with those around you. Overall, embracing healthy selfishness through boundary setting is a powerful act of self-care and self-empowerment. By honoring your own needs and priorities while also respecting the boundaries of others, you create a foundation for greater well-being, authenticity, and fulfillment in all areas of your life. 3. Embrace authenticity. Jean-Paul Sartre's philosophy of authenticity offers profound insights into the importance of living in alignment with our true selves. Authenticity entails embracing who we genuinely are, acknowledging our feelings, needs, and desires, and aligning our actions with our innermost values and beliefs. In a world often driven by societal norms and expectations, Sartre's concept of authenticity serves as a powerful reminder to prioritize our own truth over external validation. Living authentically requires courage and self-awareness. It means being honest with ourselves about our emotions, motivations, and aspirations, even when they diverge from the expectations of others. This honesty fosters a deeper connection with ourselves and cultivates a sense of inner integrity that serves as a guiding force in our lives. Central to authenticity is the idea of refusing to compromise our values or integrity to please others. This doesn't mean disregarding the feelings or needs of others. Rather, it's about recognizing that our primary responsibility is to ourselves and staying true to our own moral compass. By honoring our principles and staying aligned with our truth, we cultivate a profound sense of self-respect and inner peace that transcends external validation. Practicing authenticity also involves embracing vulnerability and imperfection. It's about embracing our flaws and vulnerabilities as integral parts of our humanity, rather than striving for an unattainable ideal of perfection. By embracing our authenticity, we free ourselves from the burden of pretense and allow ourselves to be seen and accepted as we truly are. In applying Sartre's concept of authenticity to our daily lives, it's essential to prioritize self-awareness and introspection. Take the time to reflect on your values, beliefs, and desires, and consider whether your actions align with them. Be willing to question societal norms and expectations that may not resonate with your authentic self, and have the courage to chart your own path, even if it means facing resistance or criticism from others. Authenticity also involves embracing uncertainty and embracing the unknown. It's about being open to exploring new possibilities and taking risks in pursuit of our true passions and aspirations. By stepping outside of our comfort zones and embracing the unfamiliar, we expand our horizons and discover new facets of ourselves that we may not have otherwise encountered. Ultimately, embracing authenticity is a transformative journey of self-discovery and self-expression. It's about embracing the full spectrum of who we are, with all of our strengths, weaknesses, and contradictions, and allowing ourselves to shine authentically in the world. In doing so, we cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment, connection, and meaning in our lives, and inspire others to do the same. 4. Practice self-control. Drawing wisdom from Epictetus and the Stoic philosophy, practicing self-control and cultivating inner freedom becomes paramount in navigating life's challenges with grace and resilience. Epictetus, a prominent figure in Stoicism, emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not, urging us to focus our efforts on the former while accepting the latter with equanimity. Self-control, as advocated by Epictetus, goes beyond mere restraint from impulsive actions. It encompasses a profound mastery over our reactions and emotions in response to external circumstances. This entails developing a keen awareness of our internal landscape and cultivating the ability to respond to life's adversities with clarity and composure. At the core of Epictetus's teachings lies the notion that our inner state, our peace and contentment, is not contingent upon external events, but rather determined by our perception and response to them. By recognizing that external events are beyond our control, we liberate ourselves from the tyranny of circumstance and empower ourselves to dictate our own emotional well-being. Practicing self-control involves honing our rational faculties and exercising discipline over our impulses and desires. It requires a commitment to living in accordance with our values and principles, even in the face of temptation or adversity. Through mindfulness and self-awareness, we gain insight into the workings of our mind and develop the capacity to choose our responses consciously rather than reacting impulsively. Stoic philosophy also underscores the importance of cultivating inner freedom, the ability to maintain a sense of tranquility and equanimity amidst life's fluctuations. This inner freedom is not contingent upon external circumstances, but is rooted in our capacity to detach ourselves from the transient nature of the world and find solace in our own inner citadel of peace. In practical terms, practicing self-control and inner freedom involves implementing strategies such as mindfulness meditation, cognitive reframing, and emotional regulation techniques. These practices enable us to observe our thoughts and emotions impartially without being swept away by them, and cultivate a sense of inner calm and clarity. Moreover, by embracing the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within our control, we liberate ourselves from the burden of worrying about outcomes beyond our influence. Instead of expending energy on futile endeavors, we redirect our attention towards actions that align with our values and contribute to our personal growth and well-being. In applying Epictetus's teachings to our daily lives, we confront challenges with resilience and fortitude, recognizing that while we may not always have control over external events, we retain agency over our responses. By practicing self-control and cultivating inner freedom, we forge a path towards greater self-mastery and fulfillment, navigating life's vicissitudes with wisdom and grace. 5. Cultivate balance. Embracing the middle way of Buddhism offers profound insights into the art of cultivating balance in life, guiding us away from the extremes of self-indulgence and self-denial towards a path of mindful moderation and compassionate self-love. Rooted in the teachings of the Buddha, the middle way advocates for a harmonious approach to navigating life's complexities, recognizing that true contentment lies in finding a balanced equilibrium between opposing forces. Central to the middle way is the notion of avoiding extremes, be it excessive indulgence in sensual pleasures or rigid asceticism. Instead, it advocates for a middle path, a course of moderation that transcends the allure of hedonism while eschewing the pitfalls of renunciation. This balanced approach fosters a state of equanimity wherein one learns to appreciate life's offerings without becoming enslaved by them and renounces unnecessary suffering without depriving oneself of life's joys. The middle way encompasses not only external behaviors but also internal attitudes, encouraging practitioners to cultivate a balanced mindset characterized by wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. By embracing this path, individuals learn to navigate the complexities of life with grace and resilience, free from the bondage of craving and aversion that perpetuate suffering. At the heart of the middle way lies the practice of mindfulness, the art of being fully present and aware in each moment without judgment. Through mindfulness, individuals develop a heightened sense of self-awareness, allowing them to observe their thoughts, emotions, and impulses with clarity and equanimity. This non-reactive awareness enables practitioners to break free from the cycle of reactivity and cultivate a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. Moreover, the middle way encourages the cultivation of compassion, both towards oneself and others. Self-love, from a Buddhist perspective, is not synonymous with self-centeredness or egotism, but rather with compassionate care for one's well-being. By nurturing a sense of self-love grounded in compassion, individuals learn to treat themselves with kindness and understanding, recognizing their inherent worthiness and inherent potential for growth and transformation. In practicing self-love and healthy selfishness, guided by the principles of the middle way, individuals learn to set boundaries and prioritize their well-being without neglecting their responsibilities towards others. They recognize that true fulfillment arises not from selfishly pursuing one's desires at the expense of others, but from cultivating a balanced approach to self-care that fosters genuine well-being and happiness. The middle way also emphasizes the importance of cultivating wisdom, the discerning insight that arises from seeing things as they truly are. Through the cultivation of wisdom, individuals learn to discern between beneficial and harmful actions, cultivating virtuous qualities such as patience, generosity, and humility. By aligning their actions with the principles of the middle way, individuals contribute to their own happiness and the well-being of others, creating a ripple effect of positive transformation in the world. 6. Take responsibility. Delve into the profound insights of existentialist philosophy, which underscores the notion that you are the ultimate architect of your own destiny. Existentialism, popularized by thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, invites individuals to confront the inherent freedom and responsibility that comes with being human. At its core, existentialism challenges individuals to embrace the empowering realization that they are the authors of their own lives, responsible for shaping their essence and determining the course of their existence. Central to the existentialist ethos is the concept of existence precedes essence, which asserts that individuals first exist and then define themselves through their choices and actions. Unlike objects with predetermined purposes or essences, humans are thrust into a world devoid of inherent meaning or significance, tasked with creating their own meaning and purpose through their conscious choices and commitments. Embracing existential responsibility entails a radical departure from the tendency to blame external circumstances or others for one's predicament. Instead, it demands a courageous confrontation with the existential truth that each individual possesses the freedom to choose their path in life, regardless of the constraints imposed by society or fate. This existential freedom, while liberating, carries with it a weighty burden of responsibility, as individuals must grapple with the consequences of their choices and actions. In essence, taking responsibility entails a profound acceptance of one's agency and autonomy in shaping the course of one's life. It involves acknowledging that while external factors may influence one's circumstances, ultimately, it is one's own decisions and responses that determine the trajectory of their existence. Furthermore, taking responsibility requires a willingness to confront the existential anxiety and uncertainty that accompanies freedom. Existentialists argue that embracing responsibility entails confronting the inherent absurdity and ambiguity of human existence without succumbing to despair or nihilism. Instead of seeking refuge in external sources of meaning or authority, individuals are called upon to embrace the existential challenge of creating their own meaning and purpose in life. Practically, taking responsibility involves cultivating self-awareness and introspection as individuals examine their values, beliefs, and motivations underlying their choices. It requires a willingness to engage in self-reflection and self-examination as individuals strive to align their actions with their authentic selves and highest ideals. Moreover, taking responsibility entails a commitment to ethical integrity and accountability in one's interactions with others. It requires treating others with dignity and respect, recognizing their inherent worth and autonomy, while also holding oneself accountable for the impact of one's actions on others. In navigating the complexities of life, taking responsibility serves as a guiding principle for personal growth and self-actualization. It empowers individuals to transcend victimhood and passivity, reclaiming agency over their lives and actively shaping their destinies. By embracing existential responsibility, individuals cultivate a sense of empowerment and agency, realizing that they possess the capacity to author their own life story. They recognize that while the journey may be fraught with challenges and uncertainties, it is through taking responsibility for their choices and actions that they can forge a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. 7. Integrate learnings into daily life. The wisdom gleaned from philosophical and psychological perspectives on self-love and healthy selfishness serves as a guiding light in navigating the complexities of daily existence. By actively incorporating these insights into your daily life, you can foster personal growth, enhance well-being, and cultivate more meaningful connections with others. One of the key ways to integrate these learnings into daily life is by applying them to the various challenges and stresses encountered in the workplace. Suppose you find yourself grappling with stress or pressure at work. In such moments, drawing upon the teachings of Stoic philosophy, particularly the principles of self-control and inner freedom elucidated by Epictetus, can be immensely beneficial. By recognizing what is within your control, such as your reactions, attitudes, and efforts, and relinquishing attachment to external outcomes beyond your control, you can maintain a sense of inner peace and resilience amidst workplace challenges. Similarly, if you're struggling with self-esteem or feelings of inadequacy, incorporating the insights of existential philosophy, particularly Jean-Paul Sartre's emphasis on authenticity, can offer valuable guidance. Rather than seeking validation or approval from external sources, Sartre encourages individuals to embrace their inherent freedom and take ownership of their self-concept. By authentically expressing your true self and refusing to compromise your values or integrity to conform to societal expectations, you can cultivate a deeper sense of self-worth and confidence. Moreover, in the realm of personal relationships, integrating these philosophical and psychological perspectives can foster more authentic and fulfilling connections with others. For instance, when navigating interpersonal conflicts or disagreements, applying the principles of empathy and compassionate understanding advocated by Buddhism's middle way can promote harmonious resolutions. By maintaining a balanced and mindful approach, avoiding extremes of self-centeredness or self-neglect, and prioritizing mutual respect and empathy, you can cultivate healthier and more enriching relationships. Furthermore, integrating these learnings into daily life entails cultivating a daily practice of self-care and introspection, whether through mindfulness meditation, journaling, or reflective contemplation. Dedicating time to nurture your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being is essential for fostering self-love and healthy selfishness. By prioritizing self-care practices that promote inner peace, emotional resilience, and personal growth, you can replenish your energy reserves and cultivate a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose in life. Ultimately, by integrating the insights gleaned from philosophical and psychological perspectives into your daily life, you embark on a transformative journey of self-discovery and personal empowerment. Through intentional application of these principles, you can navigate life's challenges with greater clarity, resilience, and compassion, while also fostering deeper connections with yourself and others. In doing so, you cultivate a life that is imbued with meaning, fulfillment, and authentic self-expression, a testament to the transformative power of self-love and healthy selfishness. As we conclude this exploration of self-love and healthy selfishness, it's essential to reflect on the valuable lessons we've uncovered from various philosophical and psychological perspectives. From recognizing the importance of self-love to embracing authenticity, practicing self-control, and cultivating balance, each insight offers profound wisdom for enhancing our well-being and relationships. Now, I invite you to take a moment to ponder what you've learned from this journey. What resonated with you the most? What insights do you plan to integrate into your daily life? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this conversation. Remember, the journey towards self-love and healthy selfishness is ongoing, and every step we take brings us closer to a life of fulfillment and authenticity. If you found this video insightful, please leave your comment below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more enriching content. Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Until next time, may you cultivate a life filled with love, authenticity and compassion.